Yes, okay, I am wearing sunglasses again, but that's because this is a similar time of day to the last time I had to have sunglasses on. You can see the sun behind me here, look. So it's not an affectation, I promise. I just need to be able to see. And my sunglasses are really cool anyway, so just deal with it. So it is a Sunday afternoon, and I have just been to see Twisters. And I must start by saying I am a massive fan of the original Twister, which, if you can do maths and work backwards, it's nearly 30 years ago. It hurts, doesn't it? It stings. Twister came out in the summer of 1996, and we're now summer 2024. So yeah, it's 28 years old. And although I haven't seen it for many, many years, I did see it a lot back in the day, and I would wager it holds up pretty well. It is one of my favourite 90s summer blockbusters. It is so much fun. It has a fantastic cast, and it's just an absolute romp. I love it so much. And when I saw that a sequel was coming, I was intrigued. Weirdly, I think it benefits from having such a big gap. I think had they made any sort of sequel within a couple of years of the original coming out, it would have suffered as a result. So Twister, the original, was directed by Jan de Bont. He had made Speed a year or so before, and so that was kind of his action film summer blockbuster calling card, and he made Twister, and it was great. Speed obviously got a lackluster sequel a couple of years on, and Twister never did, and I'm really glad for it. Am I glad they made one eventually? Yeah, I bloody am, because I've just had a right old time in the cinema. So Twisters tells the story of a very smart science person called Kate Carter, who, when we first meet her, is trying with her boyfriend and 3 of her best friends to come up with a solution to stop tornadoes, to stop Twisters. And she is an Oklahoma native. They are in Oklahoma, and they've got this new system that they hope can take the moisture out of a Twister, therefore taking away its power, its fuel. And in the opening sequence, we see her and the crew try to do that. They're trying to prove the science of what they're doing to get a grant, and things don't go well. I won't elaborate because I don't do spoilers. Among the crew are, as well as Kate, as well as Daisy Edgar Jones's Kate, we have Anthony Ramos from Hamilton and In the Heights and the Transformers film from last year. He is playing Javi, who is kind of the data crunching guy. And after the opening sequence and its aftermath, we then fast forward 5 years. When we meet them again, Javi is trying to get Kate to join a project he's on. That sun's really bright, isn't it? I'm going to go over here. He's trying to get Kate to join a project he's on with new equipment to try and find out more about Twisters. I think the overriding thing from the original film and from this film and just from Twister studies in general is that nobody really understands them fully. So they're trying to get more knowledge so they can help more people. And Kate, as well as having a big old science brain and like a meteorological qualifications a go-go, she's also just got this instinct, much like Helen Hunt's character in the original. She's just got this gut instinct. She like understands storms, and she kind of gets a vibe for which way they're gonna go. You know, she can just tell from the air and stuff like that. So she's kind of somebody that Javi really wants on his team now that he's got money and funding behind him, like corporate money, to try and find out more about Twisters. So she finds herself back in Oklahoma, and while they're there, they meet a crew of YouTubers who also chase tornadoes, and they are led by Glenn Powell's Tyler Owen. I nearly called him Owen Tyler there because he's got one of those names that could be either way around. Here's the thing, right? Glenn Powell, I've seen him in a few things now, and I'd say that Tyler Owen is a very similar character to Hangman that he played in Top Gun Maverick. He's got this real strong line in kind of arrogant, charming jackass sort of, but you kind of can't help but love him kind of guy. So it's a kind of similar character, but I just found him to begin with repugnant, and then he kind of grew on me over time. I've got such a soft spot for Anthony Ramos because I saw him in Hamilton originally and then in The Heights. Daisy Edgar-Jones is brilliant. She is incredibly watchable. She's beautiful, but she's completely believable in the role. I liked how bear in mind she is British, she had a southern accent, but it was very soft. You could tell she was southern, but it wasn't all twangy all over the place. And there was just some brilliant characters, much like the original, much like with the crew in the original film being made up of like amazing actors like Alan Ruck, Philip Seymour Hoffman. There's just this ragtag bunch of storm chasers and scientists. It's similar in this when we meet Tyler's team, and they call themselves Tornado Wrangler, I think is their YouTube channel. He's got this sort of mad put together crew, and they're just inherently likable. They're all very sort of mismatched, and it's the contrast between Tyler's crew and then the team that Javier's brought, and her trying to sort of decide which is the right place to be. Does she stay with the corporate money as she starts to suspect that maybe their motives aren't quite as wholesome as she had first thought? Does she go with the storm chasers who broadcast on YouTube, who she initially dismisses as being sort of frivolous and reckless? I will say, much like the original, it doesn't glamorize tornadoes. You see real devastation and destruction in this film, and I found myself sitting there thinking, why on earth does anybody live in Oklahoma? I'm sure it's beautiful, and if that's where you're from and that's where your home and your heart is, then fair dues, but it looks really dangerous. Tornadoes are scary, man, and they never, even though the action sequences are like exciting, they never shy away from the fact of going like, this is really dangerous. These people who are trying to do science around tornadoes are taking big risks. And apparently I'm making a YouTube video on the surface of the sun, which is also quite dangerous. So yeah, they don't sugarcoat it. They don't try and suggest that they don't try and suggest that it's all like fun and games. It's dangerous. There are some lovely nods to the original film, some little homages here and there that I picked up on because I have seen the original film quite a lot, although as I said, not for many years. And it's great. It's 2 hours. It's got brilliant action sequences in. I didn't feel that the action sequences were too sort of CG, because that is always a concern that I have now that they have the technology to do everything on computers they do, and it sort of takes away from the sort of real life feel that the original had. I'm not saying there wasn't special effects in the original, of course there was, but there were 90 special effects, and now we're in 2024, which is the future. But it's really fun and it whips along wonderfully. The leads are great. There's a lot to enjoy. It's a proper summer blockbuster with a decent story, great action sequences, and yeah, it's got real heart. I thoroughly enjoyed it. No complaints here. My daughter pointed out it would be fun to watch in 4DX, but I don't know how strong the winds are that they could get going in a 4DX screen, and you'd probably end up giving yourself a back problem from being thrown around a lot, but she's right, it probably would be fun. Anyway, thank you for watching this broadcast from Mordor, and I will be back soon with another review. Big thumbs up for Twisters though. That's making the top 10 for sure. Okay, that's it. Katie out.